So I like to mostly talk business and entrepreneurship on my channel, but there's a recent video that I uploaded and I was mostly talking really about why people hate ambitious people and using Gaten McKenzie as the example of that video, because as much as I may not say that I'm his biggest fan, I'm a fan of his progress and his hustle and the growth that he's been able to actually achieve in his life. And that video did very, very well. So it actually showed me that I don't actually just have to focus on business and entrepreneurship, although these are things that I'm passionate about. There are other things that I've always wanted to talk about, and today's video is no exception. So what I want to talk about is my problem with colored people, and I actually will also lump black people into this one as well, but I've briefly spoken about some of these things that I have a problem with, and this I'm just focusing more on colored people. So according to my understanding and my knowledge, which I don't think is very vast, is that colored people played a very significant role in getting their country where it is now. And what I mean by that is they've played a significant role as freedom fighters for the people of color in South Africa. Black people, colored people, Indian people. Coloreds have played a very significant role in multiple areas in the country, from Cape Town to multiple areas in KZN, Gauteng. And if they did not play those roles, I don't think anyone can dispute that we wouldn't have experienced democracy as we are experiencing it now, although not obviously comfortable or not the best form of democracy when we compare to what democracy is described as. But so with that in mind, that they played a very significant role, my first problem with colored people is it seems as though they have allowed themselves to be a forgotten population in the country. They are allowing it. There are many great coloreds here in South Africa who are doing great. Gaten McKenzie being one of them, and whom is in the political space. In the political space, I think he's probably one of the loudest politicians whom are colored in South Africa right now. So he is not allowing the colored community to be a people whom are forgotten in the country, as people who played a role to be part of the democracy that we are experiencing. And as I'm saying, like my problem is that they are allowing themselves to be sort of a forgotten group of people, a forgotten population of people. And when I look at that, I just mostly wonder to myself, how is it possible that is the case? And since it is the case, what are other colored people doing outside of Gaten McKenzie? What are other colored people doing? And I think maybe I may not be aware of what they are doing because I'm not that exposed to colored people anymore, because the area that I currently live in now, there are no coloreds. But I've lived in areas where there were colors, and one of the longest stays for me where there's a lot of colors was in Terfontein, and that's where I got to learn more about colored people and how they live. And maybe this is just the colored people in Terfontein. They might be different to how they live in Cape Town, but I've been to Mitchell's Plain as well, and I got to interact with colored people from Mitchell's Plain in 2018, yes. And what I learned mostly is that they're just people. They're just people like myself. They're mostly very intelligent. They're mostly very nice people and very welcoming people. Which actually leads me to my next problem with colored people. So this is what I have experienced with colored people. Very nice people, number one. Number two, very welcoming. Number three, very loving. Four, absolutely intelligent people. Absolutely intelligent people. It leads me to my problem, my other problem with colored people. Why the hell is it that you are allowing yourselves to be known as violent people. You're allowing yourself to be known as people who do the most drugs, who drink the most. Like, if you ask any black person who has not fully interacted with colored people, let's say who's from a township that he or she doesn't get to meet that many colored people, there are certain things that they know about them, and it's the negative stereotypes. The negative stereotypes such as violence, such as if you fight somebody from a colored family, that person is not just going to call their friends. They're going to call their friends, their bali, everyone in the family, even the grandmother will be there with a pot or knife. We joke about those things, we find it to be funny a little bit, but it's not actually positive things to be known for. The other thing that I also used to think about colored people is the fact that, man, those people, they're really good at smoking. How is that a positive thing for me to know about a people? That they are just good at smoking. They know how to smoke almost anything. They smoke a lot. They've got a lot of drug addicts. It's a problem for me because once I started interacting with these people more closely, I learned that everything that I thought I know was incorrect. So what we have right now in South Africa, or not in South Africa, like we got your Trevor Noahs, we got your Tyler, the musician, who are experts from the colored community, whom colored people are very proud of. But I know for a fact these are not the only people in the colored communities that should be in the limelight, that should be known a bit more. Why are you not pushing each other and your communities to be known for more positive things? I've got a problem with that. I am complaining, and I'm also pleading with you to educate me a bit more about things that I may not be talking about in this video that more people should know about. I'd like to see more videos. I'd like to hear more music. I'd like to be exposed more to the culture of colored people. Because, okay, we can say they are a different race or whatever, which I don't really believe, right? But they are a different culture of people. I'd like to know more positive things about colored people. And obviously myself, because I'm a curious person, I will know these things because I will actively search and look for this information. But the next person who is a little bit less curious to what I am, they're not going to look for this information. They're not going to look for these kind of things about other people or to learn as much as they can about other people. And it's incumbent upon colored people to actually share this with people from communities outside of the colored community. The other thing that I have a problem with, that I have experienced, remember, I say that they are loving people, they are very welcoming, they are very intelligent, and very fun to be around. Very nice people to be around. You can never go hungry around a colored, even if they don't have money. Like, they will try to feed you somehow. Remember, these are the things that I know after interacting with them. Then why is it that there is certain groups of colored people that feel when you are around them, it almost feels as though they have a superiority complex. Superiority complex. And what I mean by that is the second time that I ever felt as though somebody felt that they are superior to me, only based on the fact that we are different races, was with a colored person. The first time was with an Indian, the second time was with a colored person, and then the third and maybe up to the sixth, seventh time was with Indians again, and then a Jew, which is topics for another day. But I've also felt that superiority complex coming from a colored person, and I was like, something is broken here with this one. Something is broken, and I could realize that something was broken about them because everybody else was just pleasant to be around. And when I say everybody else, I'm not just talking about the people who were actually not criminals, because I've also interacted with gangsters and criminals whom are colored. And just like any typical black person, typical black criminal or gangster, you find that the things that have led them to where they are, like being in gangsterism, are things that as a community could have been almost prevented or mitigated. They are just good people who are broken. And these are the things that most people know. Outside of the good things that I'm talking about, the things that most people know about colored are the negative things. I seriously have a problem with that. I think if you're a colored person who's watching this video up until now, it's your responsibility to play a role somehow to teach people that what we think we know about colors is not true. Yeah. Yeah, in the next video I'll then talk about black people, because there's a lot.